Good morning. Camarines Norte State College, the only public higher education institution in Camarines Norte, welcomes you all in the public presentation of candidates for the search for CNSC President. Ladies and gentlemen, the entrance of callers. We will now start the program by welcoming the members of the Board of Trustees with the ad interim board secretary carrying the college mace. The Search Committee for Presidency. And the candidates for CNSC President. Please all stand. Please join us in commencing this event with a prayer, the singing of the national anthem, and the CNSC hymn.
Lord, sins of everyone in this call, for once again, we are gathered and given the opportunity to appreciate life and your words. Forgive us for our shortcomings and cleanse our hearts as we learn and live your words and example. Father, bless our endeavors, especially today's meeting. May you guide us in our discussions, and may you enlighten our minds in every decision that we make. Give us your grace that we may effectively do our parts for your greater glory. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
You may now be seated. We are also joined by participants via Zoom, and we are streaming via Facebook Live. To deliver the welcome address, let us call on CHED Regional Director, OIC Camarines Norte State College Office of the President, Dr. Freddy T. Bernal.
Good morning. As the officer in charge of Camarines Norte State College, it is my pleasure to welcome all the participants in today's public presentation of candidates for CNSC presidency. I am honored to acknowledge the candidates, sectoral representatives, search committee for presidency, the CNSC Board of Trustees, and the LGU representatives. Likewise, I would like to recognize the participation of the faculty, staff, students, the entire academic community, the people of the province of Camarines Norte, and everyone joining us via Zoom platform and watching through Facebook Live. With my short stint in this college as officer in charge, which will end once a new president is selected, and through constant interactions with CNSC and CHED, I am very familiar with the processes, undertakings, and the vast opportunities of this institution, which demands that the incoming president will be executing a very crucial role in managing the operations and services of the college. Being aware of the dynamics, potentials, and the challenges of this institution, I am one with the CNSC community in its hope to select their new president, a leader with conviction, integrity, and accountability to do all the mandated functions of CNSC towards achieving its vision and in fast-tracking its compliance with the requirements to make this college a full-fledged university. A leader who is professionally competent, with solid academic background, and who has a very clear and tangible vision, mission, and development goals for CNSC. Further, he should have the ability to effectively communicate and collaborate with all education stakeholders. Furthermore, a leader who can lead CNSC in its continuing pursuit of quality and excellence in education. That is what the search committee for presidency is looking for, and that is what CNSC, the community, is rooting for. Once again, I would like to welcome all of you. Your presence makes this public presentation possible. May this event serve its purpose of guiding our Board of Trustees to come up with informed and appropriate decision in selecting the most qualified president of Camarines Norte State College. Thank you and good luck, CNSC.
Thank you very much, sir. This time, to give the opening remarks, may we request the Chair, CNSC Search Committee for Presidency, Dr. Candida B. Adalia.
CNSC Board of Trustees headed by Chair Dr. Aldrin A. Darilag joining us online. The members of the search committee physically present with you today. We have OIC President and CHED Regional Director, Dr. Freddy Bernal, Dr. Maria Cristina Azuelo representing the academic sector, and Ms. Mergy Morolada representing the private sector. Joining you today online is Dr. Tirso Ronquillo, the President of Philippine Association of State Universities and Colleges, or PASO, and currently President of Batangas State University. Sectoral representatives of CNSC, representing the administrative staff, junior faculty, senior faculty, private sector, and the studentry. The honorable officials of the local government units of the province of Camarines Norte, officials from the Office of the Representative of the First District of Camarines Norte, and Office of the Governor and mayors of the different towns of Camarines Norte joining us online via Zoom, and the three illustrious men who will vie for the CNSC presidency. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this public forum. Today, your search committee is happy to report that we have selected, or we have qualified 3 applicants who will be presented to you shortly to present their vision, mission, and development goals, and also to respond so some of the questions prepared by your sectoral representatives. After listening to their mission vision, we encourage everyone to participate actively during the public forum, the open forum. And if your questions will not be read, please rest assured that if these are submitted to the secretariat, we can bring it to their attention tomorrow during the panel interview. This will allow your committee to get as much information as possible from the CNSC constituents. Please note, however, that this search committee is not going to select your new president. This important task is reserved to your Board of Trustees. Our mandate is to conduct the search process, generate as much data as we could, needed by the Board of Trustees to make an informed decision. We therefore appeal to everyone for your kind help by participating actively in the remaining part of the search process. Your feedback and honest assessments of the candidates will surely make a difference and make history for CNSC as well. So on behalf of the SCP, I would like to thank all the members of the local arrangement committee, especially the IT team of CNSC, for ensuring good connectivity throughout the proceedings. A special thanks also goes to Attorney Ivy Figura and the OIC President and CHED Regional Director, Dr. Ferdy Bernal, for making much of the tedious preparation. We also commend the CNSC constituents for allowing another historical event to unfold freely. And let us now honor the Lord this morning with the excellent public forum. Friends, let us sit back and relax, listen to the presidential balls in which one of them will become your next president. Thank you and good morning. God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Candida Adalia, the chair of the CNSC
Search Committee for Presidency. At this juncture, allow me to introduce to you our presidential candidates. Starting off with Dr. Rusty G. Abanto. Sir, please stand to be recognized. Dr. Marlot M. de la Cruz, and Dr. Ricardo D. Dino. Allow me also to introduce our sectoral representatives. For administrative staff, we have Ma'am Eloisa Lokban. Alumni, Marlon V. Guerrero. Junior faculty, Melissa S. Carbonell. Senior faculty, Claro Ramon A. Duero. Private sector, Engineer Timothy Sales. And from our student, Luis Ray Adan. We also would like to acknowledge the presence of the LJU representatives, which was already mentioned by the chair of the SCP, and also, of course, the presence of our Board of Trustees. Before we start with the presentation, may I now call on our ad interim board secretary for the mechanics and presentation of the open forum. Let me call on Attorney Leona Lane Ivy Figura.
Good morning, everyone. Allow me to read to you the guidelines in the presentation of the vision, mission, and the open forum. The candidates shall draw lots before the start of the presentation of the mission, vision, goals, and objectives to determine the sequence of presentation as well as the sequence for answering the questions during the open forum. After the drawing of lots, the first one to present will remain in the hall while the others will be ushered into a waiting room. While a candidate is making his presentation, the other candidates shall stay in the waiting room where they will not be able to hear the ongoing presentation. The candidates will present their respective vision and mission with an allotted time of not more than 15 minutes each, based on the order as determined by the drawing of lots. The assigned timer will raise the green sign to signify the start of the presentation. A yellow sign will mean that the candidate has 5 minutes left in his presentation. The applicant will be automatically muted, and the red sign will be raised when his time is up. Candidates are requested to keep their times. There will be a 3-minute break after the candidates are done with the presentation. As for the open forum, the first round of questions will come from the sectoral representatives. These follows after the break. Following the order in the presentation, the first who presented will be asked to enter the hall, while the other two remains in the holding area. Each candidate shall be given 2 minutes to answer the questions from each of the sectoral representatives. The assigned timer will again raise the green sign to signify the start of the presentation of the questions. A yellow sign will mean that the applicants will have to wrap up his answers. Again, the applicant will be muted and the red sign will be raised when the time is up. All the sectoral representatives shall ask a maximum of 2 questions related to the presented mission and vision in the following order: the administrative staff, the junior staff, the faculty rather, the senior faculty, the private sector, and the students. After the last candidate is done, the other candidates will be ushered into the hall for the open forum for the questions coming from the audience. During this open forum with questions from the audience, each candidate will pick one question from the pool of questions. The moderator will be the one to read the question, and the candidate is given 2 minutes to answer the 3 questions. That will be all. I hope the candidates are ready for their presentation and the questions, and the audience, we beg your indulgence for your participation in these public presentation and forum. Good day, everyone. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Attorney Ivy. To determine the order of presentation, may I now call on the Chair of the Local Search Committee, Dr. Maria Angela G. Quinto, to facilitate the drawing of lots. We'll be requesting our presidentiables to please open the folder at the same time. All right, I think you are now ready. Please open the number and show it to the audience. Number 1 is Dr. Marlo de la Cruz. Number 2, Dr. Rusty Giabanto. And number 3, Dr. Ricardo D. Dino. At this point, we'll be declaring 3-minute break to give our first presenter the time to prepare, and the other 2 candidates will be accompanied by our ushers to a designated waiting area.
We are encouraging the audience to please, you can ask questions if you want, just that the questions will be screened by our search committee for presidency to avoid inappropriate queries and of course to ensure that the questions are relevant questions. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Dr. Marlo M. De la Cruz.
To our esteemed search committee, headed by Dr. Candida B. Adalia, and employees, our valued students, and other stakeholders, maray na aga sa inyo. Today is a great day to present to you a roadmap for UCN as an engine for innovation and discovery. I am Dr. Marlo Morallo de la Cruz, a registered professional electronics engineer, a licensed professional teacher, a registered electronics engineer, and a licensed NTC radio telephone operator. I am a CHED Regional Quality Assessment Team member for almost 20 years, a senior AACUP accreditor for almost 6 years, and an innovator. My presentation will cover the roadmap, introduction and context. Next, a vision of UCN in the next 4 years, and UCN becoming an engine for innovation and discovery. Education is the only inheritance I can leave you, my child. I have no wealth nor riches to give. This has been said in hope by parents for a much better future to open opportunities and improve their status in society. My view of education and its institution's role is that it acts as the engine that fuels a person's passion to realize their vision of the future and transform it into reality. I've worked in 2 international companies. The experiences I had were amazing and rich. But there is something in the academic sector that attracted me most, and that I can be the light to inspire others. For me, education is the engine that formed me who I am today. I am a licensed professional electronics engineer by profession, proven by years of experience in BISCAS. By the creation and operation of BISCAS FM broadcast station, using both my PRC license as well as my NTC license. The design and implementation of BISCAS PABX system, creation of mechatronics laboratory, to mention a few. I am a researcher, published researches in local and international referee journals, received 5 patent certificate of registration for industrial designs and utility models. 5 out of my researches, of my 11 researches, were given certificate of utilization, such as electric vehicle, spreadsheet-based scheduling systems, and others. I am an educator, a graduate of Doctor of Philosophy, major in Development Education, with highest honor received. I've been teaching in BISCAS for 24 years. I've handled and taught 24 different engineering and master's courses. This was due to the various trainings and exposures I had, including my industrial training in Nanyang Polytechnic, Singapore. I am proud as one of the formators of licensed engineers, including top-notchers. I am a leader. I held positions as Dean of the College of Engineering and Architecture, Director for Advanced Education Services and Quality Assurance, and Vice President for Academic Affairs. My academic leadership roles have created various reforms in the BISCAS community. I've implemented 5 policies that benefited the BISCAS community, implemented 12 new programs offerings, 2 of which were a result of my research during my first DOT training, namely BS Civil Engineering and Bachelor of Engineering Technology, the latter being offered first by BISCAS among the entire SUCs in the Philippines. Another notable achievement is the institution of ManFab Lab, which is also a utilization of my research in partnership with the OST. My academic leadership expertise has been enhanced by my second DAP training, the Philippine Higher Education Career System, PhilHex. These are some of the most notable accomplishments I had in my entire service. Now, the question is, what more can we do to make UCN an engine that makes a difference? The ingredients are innovation and discovery. UCN will focus on training the students to innovate, evolutionize the students' learning experiences, so that they will possess the creativity to make new things. UCN will help students brave new frontiers and uncharted territories. Their stay in UCN will be a journey to discovery. With this, our new vision will be UCN, an engine for innovation and discovery. We can attain this vision through our mission. First, educate and nurture our students' innovativeness and creativeness, but observing ethical applications of science and technology. Second, capitalize on research engagement to advance scientific knowledge and technology. And finally, create, discover, and spread new technologies and innovations for sustainability of society. Given the said mission, it is important to understand these key roles. First, we have to entice and nurture talented, creative, and best students, faculty, and staff. Second, we have to build the foundation of pioneering technology that elevate the academic endeavors in our classroom, research, extension, and products. Third, we have to evolutionize student learning experience. And last, we have to improve the college's reputation among peer institutions. How are we going to build it? Follow our new institutional strategic framework shown before you and this planning process. Initially, evaluate the present status. Then, review the old directions and cast a new one, taking into consideration the demand of Industry 4.0 and Education 4.0. Then, craft strategies and solutions to achieve it. And provide a system that constantly monitors, measures, and records these milestones. Our 5 development goals are: number 1, pursuing research excellence through scholarship, discovery, invention, innovation, and creativity, by establishing research standard and influence comparable to that of reputable institutions. Provide the system to properly encourage faculty and students to engage in research, product development, and patents with appropriate reward programs. Create of the Center for Research on Teaching and Learning that provides the concrete structure and support mechanism for research and teaching. Learn to pay attention, understand and respond to the students' thinking, be it diverse, intellectual, and cultural thinking. Create and fully operationalize Fabman Lab and Makerspace, where students sharpen their creativity and ability to think. Number 2, transforming instruction and education. By empowering pervasive education that is agile, receptive to new ideas and practices, so that graduates stay on top and provide firm connections that make a difference. Convey as much as possible the teaching factory concept, where students earn while learning and forge their entrepreneurial spirits. To support this, we create the Educational Technology and Innovation Development Center, a center devoted to the production of instructional and learning materials, development of various learning modalities like web TV, broadcast TV, and radio, open educational resource, active learnings, MOOCs and DOOCs, as well as application of the new learning framework, CDIO, and experiential flipped classroom approaches. Number 3, building community and branding. the school pride. We create an environment and community that empowers students, faculty, and staff attain the full potential and capabilities so that they will face the world with high spirits and embrace who they really are. This can be reinforced by providing system-wide students' welfare and development programs, thereby creating a holistic transformation of oneself. Similarly, a well and developed programs intended for faculty and employees so they can provide the maximum quality service while achieving their self-actualization inherently creates a culture of excellence and an environment that promotes a culture of respect. It will be a community that welcomes diverse, inclusive learning and eco-friendly working environment. Number 4, connecting people and ideas for innovation through community engagement and collaboration. The idea is to strengthen the college commitment and engagement by increasing the chance of breakthroughs and innovation, putting a positive change in people's lives. The UCN Support Hub for Smart Agriculture will be the front runner to support smart agriculture, complementing with other agencies along the agriculture sector. UCN will be the binding force that will initiate community engagement through its developed pilot plants, living laboratories, technology demonstrators. Initiate avenues to help communities build their self-reliance by linking the gap between ideas and the real world. And number 5, augmenting financial resources. As the most important among the mentioned development goals, we should create a strong, stable finance resources that will fuel the institution's drive to pursue its direction as an engine for innovation and discovery. Without logistics, everything falls apart. Institutionalize a system for income-generating projects by supporting entrepreneurial activities by faculty, employees, and students. Expand existing and explore alternative revenue streams through public-private partnerships. Create and maximize the operation of Center for Applied Science, Technology, Innovation, and Commercialization, and Business Resource Center, as these centers identify the possible mature technology, product development initiatives, startups, incubation, commercialization, patents, and licensing. It will be a concerted effort by the entire UCN community, anchored with the right and intelligent administration. When asked, what was the speed of sound? Albert Einstein said, I do not carry such information in my mind, since it is readily available in books. The value of college education is not the cramming of many facts, but the training of the mind to think. That is why we, educators, should focus on training our students to be creative and critical thinkers. Albert Einstein once said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used to create them. Innovation, invention, creativity, discovery. These are the 4 pillars that characterize the new UCN, an institution driven by strong passion to make a difference. This will be realized through leadership with character, transparency, and management of intelligent administration, in which everyone has its unique involvement and shared responsibilities. Thus, attaining our ultimate goal for UCN, being an engine for innovation and discovery. I, Dr. Marlo Moralio de la Cruz, humbly offering myself for the presidency of CNSC. Let's start our journey together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Marlo M. de la Cruz. May I again acknowledge the presence of our Honorable Board of Trustees, both online and physical, chaired by Dr. Aldrin A. Darilag, CHED Commissioner, also Attorney Joseph Anthony Boma, representing Senator Emmanuel Joel Villanueva, Honorable Marisol C. Panotes, representing Honorable Mark Go, Honorable Agnes M. Espinas Tolentino, NEDA, Honorable Rodel P. Tornilia, DA, Honorable Romel C. Serrano, DOST, and of course, joining us this morning, we have Honorable Jess O. Opeña. Sir, faculty, representing the faculty. Sir, we have with us Honorable Jess Opeña. Honorable Eric D. Di Castro, also joining us this morning. Honorable Faye Frances R. Santiago. And Honorable Benigno E. Elevado. There you go, our Honorable Board of Trustees. We are now ready to listen to our next presidential candidate. Let us all welcome Dr. Rusty G. Abanto. Yes, ma'am.
Let us all welcome presidential candidate number 2, Dr. Rusty Giaban.
I am here again because I love this institution so much. I am here to continue to inspire and motivate every CNSC constituent towards the attainment of our dreams for our beloved Camarines Norte State College, and of course, finish what we have started during my incumbency as the 5th president. A wise man once said, "Do not be afraid to start over again." This time, you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from your achievements and experience. That's what I'm going to offer if elected as the next president of Camarines Norte State College. Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Rusty Gagap Abanto, a native of Daet, Camarines Norte, 48 years old, married to Veronica Lagatus Lasala, and gifted with 2 children, Ruber Matthew and Antonio Jose. I am a former CNSC president and currently holds professor rank from this institution. I obtained my doctorate degree in environmental science as a DAAD Sharka Scholar from the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. My master's degree in environmental science from the University of the Philippines, from the University of Nueva Cáceres in Naga City. My baccalaureate degree in BS Forestry, of course, from the UP Los Baños. I also have a certificate in Sustainable Environmental Management, BEERS Environmental Leadership Program from the University of California, Berkeley. I am also a certified higher education manager, which I obtained as a Sharka Scholar from the university in Germany, Thailand, and Indonesia. Yours truly is a seasoned school administrator. I have been in this institution for 25 years already, and half of that has been served in various capacities as a school administrator. I am an academic leader, institution builder, and resource generator. In terms of relevant administrative experience, I have been a SUC president, a vice president for academic affairs, and graduate school concurrent dean, a dean of the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, a director, an assistant director, to name a few. In terms of research, expert, and extension services, I have been a principal author, a co-author, a consultant, a member of the various technical working group that prepared the various documents for the province of Camarines Norte. To name some, I have been involved in the preparation of the Labo Forest Land Use Plan, the Environmental Code, and as a member of the multi-sectoral monitoring team that monitored the operation of the Mount Labo Geothermal Project. I also have some publications under my name. For instance, Mount Ginatungan, Camarines Norte, Philippines, Unknown Haven of Rafflesia, which was published in an international refereed journal. Because of these humble achievements, I am a recipient of various awards. I am a 2019 Gawad Ting Rao Award, Most Outstanding Alumni Award given by the University of Nueva Cáceres. 2018 Outstanding Citizen of Camarines Norte, given by the Provincial Government of Camarines Norte. 2017 Distinguished Alumni by UP Los Baños. Certificate of Recognition, Certificate of Exemplary Leadership Award, and 2012 Outstanding Alumnus of the UP Los Baños College of Forestry and Natural Resources. Now, let me walk you through to our vision, mission, and development goals. Nelson Mandela once said, "A vision without action is just like a dream. An action without vision just passes time. A vision coupled with action can change the world." That's what we are going to do once elected as the 6th president. We should translate our vision into reality by coming up with actions. We shall prepare a detailed plan for all the development agenda that I'll be presenting today once I am elected as president. Now, where is CNSC at present? CNSC is a SUC Level 3, an ISO 2015 multi-campus certified institution, a bronze recipient of CSC Prime HRM, among the top performing schools in the field of engineering, an emerging higher education institution in research and extension, with massive infrastructure development, gearing towards internationalization, and soon to become a full-fledged university by Republic Act 11399, or the Act converting Camarines Norte State College into University of Camarines Norte. We will bank on these achievements for us to be able to bring CNSC to our desired vision. Given this condition, where do we want to go? I envision Camarines Norte State College to become University of Camarines Norte, providing excellent higher education, gearing towards a world-class university. Can that be done? Is that possible? Yes, because we will be guided by a framework on how CNSC would be transformed into a world-class university. Of course, as mandated by the Republic Act 7352, our mission would be the Camarines Norte State College shall provide higher and advanced studies in the fields of education and arts and sciences, economics, health, engineering, finance, accounting, and so on and so forth. At the same time, perform the additional mandated functions of research, extension, production functions expected from a state university. Now, the question is, how are you going to do that? This is our framework, which I have adapted from the presentation of Dr. Sanggalang, the former chair of the CNSC Board of Trustees. Our dreams vision shall be guided by quality and excellence, partnership and engagement, transparent and efficient service. And in order for us to deliver the mandated functions of research, instruction, extension, production, including administration and support services, we should be guided by a quality-assured processes. And we should follow the pillars for us to become a world-class university. First pillar, visionary leadership employing good governance. We should only get and hire the best and the brightest talent available. We should have abundant resources. We should have excellent facilities. If we're able to do that, then a world-class university is not a remote possibility. I prepared milestones for us to reach our vision. Year 1, our target is for CNSC to become a full-fledged university. Of course, I would also like to see that the QP R&D Center is in full blast, the one that is funded by the DOST under NICER program, wherein during my time we were able to get a funding of 28 million. Year 2, ISO 14000 certification, or the Environmental Management System certification. Year 3, UCAN as Smart Campus using ICT in governance. We are doing this already. This is, of course, the heart of my administration when I was the president. Fortunately, CHED already approved our Smart Campus Fund, and so we just need to implement this target. Year 4, UCAN as a SUC Level 4. When all these milestones are attained, UCAN providing excellent higher education, gearing towards a world-class university, is a possibility. How we will get there? I have prepared 8-point thematic development agenda, and under its agendum are key strategic activities, but I will not belabor discussing its key strategic activity because of lack of time. I will just discuss the key message under its agendum. Agendum 1 is sustaining the quest for academic excellence. Excellence, excellence, excellence will be our guiding principle. We should send our faculty members not just locally, but of course abroad for them to improve for us to improve our faculty profile. We should upgrade all the facilities that we have to give justice to the learnings of our students. Addendum number 2 is on development and implementation of relevant curricular programs. As a university, we should only offer relevant curricular programs. Those programs that are responsive to the needs of the times. Those relevant programs must be phased out and identify programs that will, of course, produce and help in terms of generating jobs when our students graduate from their respective program. Addendum 3 is improvement of students' academic performance and promotion of their welfare. During my time as president, it is always the students that are, of course, my priority, because the students are the very reason why we have this academic institution. And so, we will sustain our existing programs as far as promoting the welfare of our students in this institution. For instance, the use of CNSC learning management will be improved using the Smart Campus Fund, so that this will really provide the necessary tool for learning to happen. Addendum 4 is about promotion of the general welfare of faculty and staff. The heart of any organization is a happy employee. When the employees are happy, then they are motivated. We will sustain our existing programs as far as the promotion of the welfare of the faculty and staff is concerned. Our health and wellness program, the merit promotion, the promotion of the non-teaching personnel, the scrap and build scheme are the existing projects that we implemented during my time as the president. Of course, we will not forget the implementation of the resource generation projects. One of the milestones that we have laid out in our 12-year strategic plan is for UCAN to become a resource-generating university. We should not just rely on the subsidy that is given to us by the government. The UCAN must, of course, identify income-generating projects that will, of course, add up to the remaining fund that is given by the government. Number 6, formulation and implementation of the college infrastructure modernization plan. All infra that we will implement must be anchored on the land use development and implementation plan. It's very important that all the infrastructure projects are based on the plan that is already approved by the board as far as LUDIP is concerned, so that this will be funded by the Department of Budget and Management. Number 7, improvement of administrative and fiscal management system. We have existing administrative management system. We will just sustain and implement them. As far as financial management, we have BAMS, Budget Utilization Monitoring System. As far as planning and budgeting is concerned, we have the electronic planning and budgeting system. As far as students' information and accounting system is concerned, we have that. So we just need to sustain them and improve and do continual improvement. And then finally, addendum number 8 is implementation of relevant research extension and production programs. As UCAN, we are dreaming to become a research university. And so we should implement programs and projects that will lead us to become UCAN as a research university. To do all this, we shall employ the following strategies: participatory planning and budgeting, prioritization of PPAs based on milestones, plan communication and dissemination to all delivery units, preparation of annual operational plan and cascading of targets and milestones, prudent fiscal management and administration both for GAA and income. The President should learn how to say no. Hindi pwedeng yes lang ng yes ang President. He or she must know how to say no to prioritize the limited fund that we have. 6, conduct of early procurement, ensure 100% budget utilization rate, and periodic program monitoring and evaluation. Number 9, intensify resource generation. In the coming years, Camarines Norte State College will further undergo inevitable change. We just need to be reminded of what Mahatma Gandhi has said, and I quote, "We must be the change we want to see in this world." Indeed, if CNSC has to embrace a greater role as a premier public higher education institution, change becomes imperative for each and every one. This reminds us of our individual and collective commitment and willingness to work together to attain that common vision that is UCAN, providing excellent higher education, gearing towards a world-class university. UCAN, we can. Good morning and thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rusty Giabanto. So we'll have another 3-minute break to give time to our presidential candidate number 3 to prepare his presentation. We also would like to acknowledge the presence of the families of our presidential candidates. We have the families of Dr. Abanto, Dr. De La Cruz, and Dr. Denia. Good morning po. Let us welcome presidential candidate number 3, Dr. Ricardo D. Dino.
Honorable Chair and members of the Search Committee, Honorable Chairman and members of the Board of Trustees, faculty members, employees, and stakeholders, highly admired audience, honorable government officials, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, very blessed and good morning to each and every one of you. In front of you today is a dreamer who dreamed and now a determined contingent for the CNSC presidency. I am Dr. Ricardo D. Dino, an associate professor for and currently the campus director of the CNSC Talubatib campus. Held other positions as a AACOP accreditor and also as invited lecturer. An adopted son of Camarines Norte since 1973, dwelling in Barangay Malakbang, Paracali, Camarines Norte, and because of poverty and hardship in life, made these events as compelling reasons and committed to equipping with knowledge and skills to attain even just high school from then Canas, now CNSC Labo Campus. Hindered not by being underprivileged and in extreme poverty, seized the opportunity beyond and finished a degree, Doctor of Business Administration, Master in Resource Management, and Bachelor of Science in Agricultural Engineering. All of which were on scholarship. I am the only one in the family who dreamed of and pursued to become professional because I believe that to get away from poverty is through education. For education is the ornament of the prosperous and the refuge for the unfortunate. Education is a human right and with immense power to transform. Now I am ably seasoned with manifold work experiences and exemplary achievements. I am a splendid educator, involved in various development organizations, serving as lecturer, paper presenter, accreditor, and resource person. I have rigorous training and on education for sustainable development and environment education for sustainability. Accorded various awards and prestigious recognitions such as Outstanding Accreditor, Presidential Exemplary Performer Award, Best Paper Award, Scholarship, and International Grantee. In a God-centered family, having active involvement in local church, in which I serve as an assistant pastor, and I have a motto that is to fear God and keep His commandment. With me being remarkable, industrious, and courteous, I have achieved and proven myself in small things, giving significant impacts in people's lives. To cite an example, I contributed to accomplishing CNSC SOC level from level 1 to level 2 and very well managed to materialize the appropriation of budget for RATA of the Extension Director by complying to rudiments of extension project with budget of no less than 1.5 million. Having these premises and as the saying that if you can be trusted with small things, then the more that you can be trusted with bigger things, I am confident of my qualifications and leadership abilities. That is why I am here for you, CNSC, vying for the position, the CNSC President. As President, I envisioned a world-class university. And with that, I could lead by enabling academic breakthroughs for economic, socio-political, peace, and environmental progress for all humanity, innovative, adaptive, and transformative, and propulsive education, research, development, extension, and production programs and modalities, coping the ever-changing frontiers and challenges by incessantly equipping the prowess of peoples in all discipline. With that, we could lead and let us be guided by the following core values: excellence, quality, unity, ingenuity, and progress. For our development goals, first is designed for an assured intellectuality and purposive learning and professional development where programs are accredited and certified locally and internationally. Utilizing and research and extension and production outputs for more productive and progressive lifestyle geared towards helping other people to help others also. Innovative and sustained lifelong learning programs and projects by way of education for sustainability and education for environmental sustainability. Infrastructure and physical facilities, productive environment and infrastructure, transformative and applicable infrastructure development, coping the climate change and related hazards, making it sustained and resilient infrastructure project with more state-of-the-art and environment-friendly university, learning laboratories, equipment, and facilities. Accreditation and certification of infra operations and service management systems adhering to infrastructure and media technologies for sustainable business and investment opportunities. Exploring sustainable energy utilization and conservation approaches which are proven and effective. No organization can withstand alone, just as no man is an island. My administration will indulge on industry connection and networking to reinforce global partnership for sustainability. And so involvement in the global arena is highly encouraged in terms of academic initiatives, international industry, job markets, and professional linkages for progressive business and enterprises. More so, to collaborate to develop industrial resiliency for economic and social sustainability, having access to financial and other resources for grants, donations, and funding supports by way or by working with global decision makers for an improved and sustained development. A happy workforce will increase the organization's productivity. CNSC to engage in human resource development for economic growth and achieve through corroborate promotion of economic production and consumption patterns and so on. Just to for you just to see the strategies for that particular development goal. And then peace, unified and strong institution, promotion of peaceful in internal and external communities, and assured good governance by reinforcing strong community dynamics, establish reputable cooperation and improvement, and so on and so forth. Now, for the initial implementation to accomplish the targeted development goals, allow me to itemize the following strategies. Establishing the University President's Office. Hold a meeting and consultation with the administrative officials and academic council and stakeholders of the university. Act on operational problems that require immediate action and sustained solution. Administer and manage the operations, finances, and marketing of the university. Look into the budgetary allotment and programs for 2021. Conduct human resource inventory. Ensure on-time giving of salaries of employees and faculty. Reorganize and designate the administrative officials and councils. Conduct inventory and infrastructure facilities and equipment. Give access to stakeholders and constituents by utilizing the entrance pavilion and the two gates. Study and act on the motorist and pedestrian safety, ease and comfort in going in and out of the college, especially on the provision of parking spaces. And of course, just to give you, just to complete the strategies may I just present, to hold strategic development planning and budgeting by December 2021. To prepare, review, and finalize the roadmap to 2030 propose and seek approval for the creation of the fourth Vice President as the VP for Operation and External Affairs in addition to the existing Vice Presidents for Administration and Finance, Academic Affairs, and Research and Extension. Propose and seek approval to separate the processing of financial transactions for the project, research, extension, and production operations, including those of the externally funded undertakings. Strengthen the rapport with the students, alumni, community, and other stakeholders by holding consultation and other productive and beneficial undertakings. Study and come up with a comprehensive, attainable, doable, and feasible plan for the transfer of the main campus to Labo campus. Ensure a sustainable production and livelihood in all campuses, and welcome any development efforts for advocacy, peace, and sustainable intervention from cause-oriented organizations, etc. Revisit the potential of the Malabtog land reserve for CNSC expansion and institute the Malabtog Integrated Development Program for the supply of food of the community and for enhancing the fourfold functions of the university. God willing, I am the president of the new CNSC, the University of Camarines Norte. This verse in the book of Jeremiah may inspire us, for God knows the plan He has for the UCN, plans to prosper and not to harm, plans to give hope and future. In the book of Psalms, unless the Lord builds, our efforts will be in vain. Thus, I submit to Him these development goals of the UCN. In closing, may I quote, no great man ever complains of want of opportunities by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Thank you very much, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ricardo D. Dinio. We are declaring a 15-minute health break. We'll be coming back later after 15 minutes with an open forum. So this is individual. We have with us presidential candidate number 1, Dr. Marlo de la Cruz. So the questions will be coming from our sectoral representative. We'll start with Ma'am Eloy Salukban, administrative staff. We have the microphone at the center, ma'am. Our sectoral representatives are entitled for 2 questions. And each question is 2 minutes, sir. And you have yellow for 5 seconds before the end and red once it's finished. Thank you.
Hello. Just. Good morning, sir. This is the question. As elected CNSC President, what measures are you going to apply to improve the budget utilization rate inasmuch as we are on the 3rd quarter of the fiscal year with the reversion of funds, supposedly payment for the infra projects, to the National Treasury? May I repeat the question? As elected CNSC President, what measures are you going to apply to improve the budget utilization rate inasmuch as we are on the 3rd quarter of the fiscal year with the reversion of funds, supposedly payment for the infrastructure projects, to the National Treasury?
Okay, good morning, ma'am. Thank you very much for the question. I know that we're already on the 3rd quarter, coming on the 3rd quarter, and with various probably setups on the utilization of funds. But I'm very sure that the institution has its catch-up plan. And these catch-up plans would definitely provide how we can match or how we can catch up with our financial needs as well as our disbursement. And of course, we have all of us here can be empowered to help, to share among ourselves what are we going to do. But for the coming years, definitely, as I presented in my goal, which is augmenting financial resources, which is very important, I have strategized a lot of systems wherein we can develop these kind of solutions or this kind of approaches where we can utilize really on the dot, on the time schedule, and how we are going to go about this series of problems that we are encountering, especially the finance. I know it's very hard because it's government money, it's people's money. We have a lot of, things and systems in place to evaluate and watch out for these money expenditures. So these are things that will be considered and is part of the consideration and it's part of the system. So it's up to us to do these systems to match the requirement we need.
The next question. What are your plans and programs for the non-teaching personnel to have equal opportunities in terms of promotion as compared to the teaching personnel? And how are you going to balance the wide latitude of discretion being an appointing authority? May I repeat? What are your plans and programs for the non-teaching personnel to have equal opportunities in terms of promotion as compared to the teaching personnel? And how are you going to balance the wide latitude of discretion being an appointing authority?
Thank you very much again for the question. We all know that positions are created through collapse and build. And as a president, you have all the leeway. As long as you met the criteria, when you collapse a certain position in the teaching, supposedly what the proper equivalency should be met. And some funds of this from the collapse and build can now be appropriated also for the non-teaching. So, it's just a matter of strategy on how you are going to match the needs for this non-teaching personnel. And I'm also aware that the national government also pushing through the non-teaching organization, non-teaching employees to push through for the creations of positions. And if we become a university, it's really true that we can be given, because it's a stopping pattern. A university has its stopping pattern, and we can fill this up because we are allowed as an SUC, as a university to have these positions filled. And these positions are actually intended also for non-teaching personnel. So these are the things that we should consider equitably, and of course, it would always be a matter of merit, proper accountability, and proper process on which we can find really the person right for the job, perfect for the job, so he or she can contribute to the upliftment, not only for the school, but definitely the services we due to the students and stakeholders.
Thank you. Next. Next, we have the alumni representative, Mr. Marlon Guerrero.
Magandang umaga po. Katanungan mula sa aking mga kapwa-alumni. Bilang magiging Pangulo, sir, ano po ang napakahalagang proyekto o gawain ang naiwan mo po sa iyong dating pinagsilbihang institusyon na maituturing mong legasiya dahil sa malaking ambag nito sa patuloy na pag-unlad ng mga mag-aaral, alumni at mga empleyado, at paano mo ito magiging sandalan sa pagpapatupad ng mga proyekto dito po sa ina-applyan mong posisyon. Inuulit ko po, bilang magiging Pangulo, ano po ang napakahalagang proyekto o gawain ang naiwan mo sa iyong dating pinagsilbihang institusyon na may ituturing mong legasiya dahil sa malaking ambag nito sa patuloy na pag-unlad ng mga mag-aaral, alumni at mga empleyado, at paano ito magiging sandalan sa pagpapatupad ng mga proyekto dito po sa ini-applyan mong posisyon.
Thank you very much, sir. If you have listened to my presentation a while ago, I have 11 researches, and 5 of which are utilization in the institution. So, researches are not only for the shelves. It should be transformed, right? Now, one of the major accomplishment that I have that encompasses the utilization of facility is the Manfab Lab. And I get the funding of that from the OST. And it's not only for students, it's not only for faculty, it's for everybody, including businessmen. So, the Manfab Lab is utilized for all stakeholders. Utilized for business, utilized for income generation, utilized as center for development, because that's where we create our products. That's needed by the community, even by the institution. So, these are just one. I have a lot of contributions. When I had my research in DAP, I finished, one research is the creation of Bachelor Engineering Technology. And it's the first in the entire SUCS to offer such. Research study ko po yan, and it's implemented. And it's already on the fourth year, so may mag-graduate na kami. So, the impact should be noted not only inside, but what your projects can contribute outside. Remember that our stakeholders is not within only, but we have to look outside our pedestals. These are the most important things. What we can share to the community. I have developed electronic cab. We have developed the system for enrollment.
Thank you, sir. Sa ikalawa pong katanungan, ang CNSC Federated Alumni Association po ngayon ay binubuo na ng mga predecessors, undergraduates at graduate school. Ano-ano pong mga programa o proyekto ang pwedeng maihatid ng inyong magiging administrasyon sa aming mga kapwa-alumni na hanggang sa ngayon ay wala pa rin mapasukan na trabaho o maitayong sariling negosyo? Inuulit ko po, ang CNSC Federated Alumni Association po ngayon ay binubuo na ng mga predecessors, undergraduates at graduate school. Ano-ano pong mga programa o proyekto ang pwedeng maihatid ng inyong magiging administrasyon sa aming mga kapwa-alumni na hanggang sa ngayon ay wala pa rin mapasukan na trabaho o maitayong sariling negosyo po?
Thank you, Ma'am Sir. Alumni is one of the very big contributor, especially fielding of faculty, students. Kasi these alumni, these graduates, are actually connected to corporations, industries. Now, taking into consideration that we don't have, alumni or students who graduated who do not have yet the opportunity to earn or have their jobs, that's why we are going to put the CASTIC, Center for Applied Sciences Technology Innovation Center, where our most focused output there is to create, develop products, processes, and business opportunities. Tutulungan natin ang mga alumni natin na ma-engage dito. Kasi the center alone promotes the development of these products, which can later on, and these are patents. Remember, their patents, you can earn money from patents. Royalties, it would extend beyond the first day you are given the patents. It could extend more. So, mayroon ka ng automatic na earning of incomes if we will be able really to maximize the patent. I've been engaged already for 3 years in patents. I have already made our patents were already utilized. And itong mga patents kung ito ay ginamit namin sa CCRPH namin, and even we are now on the verge of implementing. Kaya as of now, I am the chair for the harvester namin sa Pasakaw. It's a place in Bicol na i-implement namin yung nagawa na namin mga projects. And these are actually things that very simple, but pwedeng gawin.
Yun lang po at maraming salamat.
Thank you. Now we have Junior Faculty Representative, Ms. Melissa S. Carbonell.
Good morning, sir. So for the first question, for the junior faculty sector, if you will be given a chance to be the next CNSC president, how are you going to address and ensure faculty development in terms of professional growth, physical and mental health of faculty members, which includes the contract of service status, temporary and permanent faculty members, as well as the CNSC internationalization within the 4 years amidst the COVID-19 pandemic? I repeat, how are you going to address and ensure faculty development in terms of professional growth, physical and mental health of the faculty members, which includes the contract of service status, temporary and permanent faculty members, as well as the CNSC internationalization within 4 years amidst the COVID-19 pandemic?
Thank you very much, ma'am. I will start with internationalization. If you would notice, we have already, the College of Engineering were actually tied up with Nexus program from the German foreign country. And we were able to develop yung CCRPH. Even may ginawa kami dyan. Ako ang project leader, yung infusion ng isang course sa curriculum. So, these are things that I can say, my contacts. outside. So I can bring this to us also. So there are other things that we can do. When I visited New York way back 2019, I was able to talk with some people there and found out those faculty who are Filipinos who are teaching also in other universities. So these are initial links for me na pwede natin. And we can create what we call the new invisible college. So yun yung mga strategy natin. Now, doon naman sa faculty promotions, ang number one ruling natin na gusto kong i-impart talaga sa atin is the practice of profession. I am an engineer. I know what we need. Kasi yung hindi namin kayang ibigay, we cannot share it to somebody. So, first and foremost is to practice your profession outside. And this would entail you something, right? Professional growth, practice of profession, friends, contacts. And these are things where we can solicit their help, finances, and other things. Then, how are we going to help? My project, I have a lot of projects for the faculty. Program for teaching and learning, and others. Kung nabasa nyo, kung nakuha nyo lahat ng sinabi ko, these are all for the faculty.
Thank you so much, sir. For the second question, the junior faculty members of CNSC are progressively enriching their qualifications, which includes pursuing graduate studies, doing research and extension activities. However, until now, there are no new guidelines for the NBC 461, which is why no promotions yet for the 8th cycle. So what are your plans for the promotion of CNSC faculty members? Will this be prioritized during the first 100 days of your term? May I repeat? So junior faculty members of CNSC are progressively enriching their qualifications, which includes pursuing graduate studies, doing research and extension activities. However, until now, there are no new guidelines for the NBC 461, which is why no promotions yet for the 8th cycle. What are your plans for the promotion of the CNSC faculty members? Will this be prioritized during the first 100 days of your term?
It's very good that you openly ask me that. Because I know faculty members are doing everything for them to, progress. Now, I don't know if there's an internal merit promotion program here. But in BISCAS we have. But it's very critical. Some would say that, that would be the measure of test of the presidents on the decision, right? Now, as long as we follow, I am quite familiar with Ora, and BISCAS actually always asks me that, the protocol for the Ora. So I'm very, very familiar with how internal promotions should be done. So I think giving opportunity to these people equally, I mean, give them all the chance to apply for the promotion. Then by all means we can process that. Because we cannot, the NBC is always dependent on the national government. So we cannot push with our own hands. So it's difficult. So then we can also encourage IGPs, right? Push IGP so that we can have benefits derived from this. And that's one of my priority, to craft policies on IGP where each and every one shall be given the chance to earn from their processes, from their expertise. And these are things outside what government can do. It's up to us. So we help each other find ways, look for things where we can get benefits. And that would equally sum up with our needs.
Thank you, sir.
From a senior faculty representative, Mr. Claro Ramon A. Duero.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
I've listened already with your presentation, but I have to put it in a question. My first question representing the senior faculty group is that what are the keys to translate your vision for University of Camarines Norte's future into action?
Okay, I have already mentioned that in my in my presentation. There are things to be considered. I know you have been doing a lot of good things here. That's why you are known, right? So this we start by evaluating everything, getting what we are best of. Then we try to analyze these things, what we have met and what we did not met. Then try to find ways and solutions how we can pursue our directions and the coming directions, pursue them equitably, hindi yung suntok sa buwan. Equitably, yung kaya lang natin. But it's a very sure output. Yun lang yun. Very simple. Then, we implement that. Implement it. Everything has to be checked, balanced, and evaluate, monitor, and record. So that we can determine if we are really meeting the timeline and the milestones that we try to achieve. So, these are very concrete steps where we can find the solution, find the problem, find the solution, exact solution, appropriate solution, and check if we are going to have another rounds of these processes. So, system ang ilalagay natin dyan, sir. A very clear system that each and every one of us should definitely know as stakeholder, as part of UCN. That's what we're going to do. We help each other define things so that we can reach what we want. Hindi lang ako. It should be you. There should always be a part of you. Ayun yung hanapin natin.
Okay, sir. Now for the second question, what are your initial plans and actions if given the chance to be the university president for the next 100 days?
Yun din yung unang-una kong inisip when I, apply for the BISCAS presidency. Ang daming activity ginagawa, ang dami naming ginagawa. But basically, it boils down to one. Hindi natin na-identify ano ba talaga ang expertise ng bawat isa. Di ba? That's my question. Have we really checked where our expertise is? Di ba hindi? So, yun ang una natin gagawin. And help me here. Gagawin natin yan, define natin. Ano bang undergrad mo? Ano bang masters mo? Ano ba ang, what's your PhD? Redefine. Put all your energies in this direction. Lahat-lahat yun. Lagay mo dun. Hindi tayo mag-venture sa hindi natin expertise because we should be developed based on our expertise. So, i-assess natin siya. Saan ka ba talaga magaling? So, maximizing them and putting them co-equally, putting them in committees or dun sa mga mag-excel sila. Lagay natin sila. Do not look on the politics. Look on how far an individual can progress. Yan ang unang-unang ginawa ko when I was the vice president. I look into the people I think who deserves because they are the right person. And help me find those good person and put them there where they can shine and perform up to their self-actualization. That's where I need you. If in case I'm the president. That's where we will focus. We talk about it, align them together, put them where they should be. That's it.
To represent the private sector, Engineer Timothy Sales.
Magandang umaga po. Medyo pagpasensya nyo na po ang katanungan ko kung simpleng-simple lang po. Kami po sa private sector o mga pribadong individual na pagkatapos ng pag-aaral, isa na lang po ang gusto namin. Magkaroon po ng hanap buhay para magsimulang gumulong yung tuloy-tuloy po ang paghahanap buhay namin. Ang mundo pong ito ng paghahanap buhay ay tinatawag nating survival of the fittest. Sa panahon po ngayon, mahirap maghanap ng trabaho, kahit college graduate naman. Maaari po ba ninyong mailahad ang inyong programa upang mailapit ang mga graduate ng institusyong ito sa mga kumpanya na maaari nilang maging unang oportunidad sa paghahanap buhay?
Thank you, sir. My direction, sabi ko nga, we will start. Kasi, on my mind, I have to put the castic. And the castic defines already what the outcomes of our alumni, right? So, ganun mangyayari. Now, for those graduates na talaga nahihirapan sila, the school can probably provide retrofitting courses na i-realign natin sila sa demand ngayon. Diba? So, we are already on the online business. So, if our graduates is not more leaning on the online platform, then UCN should offer, kumbaga kung doktor ka na, may pag-aaral pa rin, postdoctoral. So, it does not stop there. So, dun tayo muna mag-focus. Ano bang kailangan? Then, teach them, kasi if you're familiar, sir, dun sa cash quadrant, there are 4. Employment, business,
investment.
Di ba, sir? So, hindi tayo nililimit as a student, as a graduate, or as a alumni, only in one quadrant. We are given the opportunity to have the 3. Right, sir? So, we talk, sit together, look for things where we can apply the 3 quadrants in the alumni. So, my Fabman Lab, yung gagawin kong Fabman Lab, is a very, very important system na makaka-incorporate sa pag-adapt ng mga needs ng CNSC. So, we redefine the graduates of UCN, not a graduate to look for job, but a student who can create job.
Salamat po. Ang akin pong ikalawang katanungan, dahil po sa nakinig po ako kanina sa iyo, hindi ko na po itatanong kasi irrelevant na po. Nailatag nyo na po yung program, yung itatanong ko, nasagot na kanina sa presentation nyo. Salamat po.
Malinaw pala, sir, yung presentation ko.
Naintindihan ko naman po.
Thank you very much. At least po, nakikita natin yung direction. Tulong-tulong po tayo doon.
To represent the student sector, may I call Mr. Luis Ray Adan.
Good morning, sir. My first question is, if you become the president, how can you assure that one of your top priority is the welfare of CNSC, particularly the students? And what are your ways to amplify our voices to be heard by the governing body of CNSC? Again, if you become the president, how can you assure that one of your top priority is the welfare of CNSC, particularly the students? And what are your ways to amplify our voices to be heard by the governing body of CNSC?
Thank you very much, sir. In my programs, ang daming programs na in-offer ko sa student. And this coincides also with the faculty. Kasi simultaneous sila mag-benefit. Say, program for learning assessment. Teachers are trained, students will benefit. So, there are lots of programs, nabasa nyo. Values formation, guidance system. Kasi I've been known for 24 years, I've seen government that they do not focus on guidance counseling. And I found it very important kasi at the end, hindi natin nakikita how is the life, personal life of the student. So, it should be part of the development of the child. Amplify natin to, sir. Lagyan natin ng proper talagang guidance yung estudyante. It's not only getting the knowledge. We have to balance everything. Matalino ka nga, di ka naman marunong magpagkapwa. It's useless. So we have to balance. Everything should be balanced. Now, we have the values formation, we have the branding. Ang isang very good na nakita ko sa other folks is the branding. Kasi pag known ka na estudyante na magaling ka, madadala mo ang pangalan ng school. It's not the other way around. Hindi pwedeng magaling yung UP, magaling yung UP, pero hindi yung estudyante. Di ba? Hindi pwede. Should be, magaling estudyante na napuproduce ng UP. Kaya ang UP, magaling. So, start from there. Start from the student. Put everything there kasi siya magdadala. You as a student manifest
Thank you,
what
sir.
the SUC is.
For my second question po, how can you secure the quality education can be achieved in the midst of pandemic? What steps are you going to make in order to provide students an effective learning experience despite of pandemic? Again, how can you secure that the quality education can be achieved in the midst of pandemic? What steps are you going to make in order to provide students an effective learning experience despite of pandemic?
The online system now happens because of the pandemic, right? But dun sa school kasi namin, 2 years ago before the pandemic happens, nagkaroon na tayo ng mga online platform. Kami, especially me, ako yung unang-una sa amin nag-produce ng online platform education. And I found out yung mga difficulty doon. Unang-una, bombarded ang bata ng assignment, kaya hindi nila nagagawa. There's no proper coordination. Teachers are always giving assignments, not considering the number of assignments given. So we put systems there. Implement siguro, it's a software or whatever, where we can, properly distribute the load given to the students. Second, we provide, kung narinig mo sir yung educational ETIDC, Educational Technology Innovation Development Center, which produces different platforms for learning platforms yun. We have the web TV. Ako license akong pwede tayo mag-create dito ng broadcast TV, and kaya nakagawa ako sa school namin. And I was the one to manage, who signed even signed ng license. So these are simple things probably to us, but affects a lot. Kasi these are modalities already of learning platforms. Diba? Now, we introduce OER, Open Educational Resource. We open MOOCs, we open DOOCs. These are learning platforms na mapapadali nyong maintindihan. So, sa amin gumawa kami. It's not perfect. Until now, I'm using Google Classroom. Yes, Google Classroom, very simple. But for me, it's very effective because I incorporated also the DLLA.
Thank you, sir.
So that ends the open forum for our presidential candidate number 1, Dr. Marlo M. de la Cruz. Thank you very much, sir.
We will now start our open forum for presidential candidate number 2, Dr. Rusty Giabanto. Let's start off with the administrative staff, Ma'am Eloy Salukban.
Morning, sir. These are the two questions. The first question, sir, is if you're elected CNSC president, what measures are you going to apply to improve the budget utilization rate? Inasmuch as we are on the third quarter of the fiscal year, with the reversion of funds supposedly payment for the infra projects to the National Treasury. May I repeat? As elected CNSC president, what measures are you going to apply to improve the budget utilization rate inasmuch as we are on the third quarter of the fiscal year with the reversion of funds supposedly payment for the infra projects to the National Treasury?
First thing first, I will have to sit down with the team and discuss the status of various projects. And based on the status of the various projects, implementation of various projects, we will have to devise a catch-up plan. Obviously, there are delays in the implementation of the programs, projects, and activities because we are in a transition period. So first thing is to inventory the status and then come up with a catch-up plan. And then that catch-up plan will be our basis in order for us to cope up with the delay and in order for us to improve the budget utilization rate. Just like what we did in the past, there will always be that constant monitoring. I'll be using the ICT in governance. I'll be using the budget utilization and monitoring system in order for me as president to have a grasp on the status of the budget so that we'll improve the status of budget utilization. You know, the heart of the implementation of the various projects depends on how well the president understands the execution of the various projects. If the president knows that there are projects that are delayed and he always make a constant follow-up monitoring electronically or even personal using of course the administrative council, then we'll be able to come up with the delay and henceforth will improve the budget utilization rate of the college. That is always our priority because the budget of DBM depends on how well we utilize our budget. If we are not able to absorb the budget given to us, then we expect that next budget year, there will be no additional budget. That is based on my experience. Thank you.
The second question is, what are your plans and programs for the non-teaching personnel to have equal opportunities in terms of promotion as compared to the teaching personnel? And how are you going to balance the wide latitude of discretion being an appointing authority?
Okay. Compared to the teaching personnel, teaching personnel has NBC 461. Unlike the non-teaching, they don't have the NBC 461. What we did in the past is that we always conduct merit promotion. Every time there is a vacant position, we make sure that the next in rank will be given the priority. Another strategy that we can do because there is a shortage in terms of available plantilla is via scrap and build. When I was the president, we were able to produce additional non-teaching position via scrap and build. We were able to reclassify all the existing plantilla of those non-teaching personnel who were not given the chance to be promoted under the current dispensation. So, before I left, sometime in February, we submitted a request for scrap and build. Hopefully, that was already approved by the DBM, and that will, of course, help the welfare of the non-teaching personnel in terms of giving equal opportunities for them while waiting for the ROS. Because at present, we are waiting for the ROS, Revised Organizational Staffing System for State Colleges and Universities. So yun muna ang strategy natin. So we will make sure that the non-teaching personnel will be given equal opportunity. A while ago, I said that the heart of any organization is to ensure that the teaching and non-teaching personnel are happy. Because when they are happy, when we promote happy culture, then they are well motivated. And if they are well motivated, then there's no reason for us not to be able to perform best our functions. There's no reason for us not to be able to reach our vision, that is a world-class University of Camarines Norte. Thank you.
To represent our alumni sector, Mr. Marlon V. Guerrero.
Magandang umaga po.
Good morning.
Sir, bilang magiging Pangulo po, ano ang napakahalagang proyekto o gawain ang naiwan po doon sa dating posisyon mo bilang presidente ng institusyon na maituturing mo pong legasiya dahil sa malaking ambag nito sa patuloy na pag-unlad ng mga mag-aaral, alumni at mga empleyado, at paano po ito magiging sandalan sa pagpapatupad ng mga proyekto sa ina-applyan po ngayong posisyon. Inuulit ko po, bilang magiging Pangulo, ano po ang napakahalagang proyekto o gawain ang naiwan mo sa iyong dating posisyon na maituturing mong legacy dahil sa malaking ambag nito sa patuloy na pag-unlad ng mga mag-aaral, alumni at mga empleyado, at paano ito magiging sandalan sa pagpapatupad ng mga proyekto sa ina-applyan po ngayon.
Okay. The one major dream that I was not able to do because of what happened is the universityhood of the Camarines Norte State College. It's not just my dream. It is a collective dream of all the Norteños for us to see CNSC to become a world-class university. In my presentation a while ago, that world-class university status is possible if we are able to ensure that the four pillars for us to become a world-class university are there. Good governance, abundant resources, best and the brightest talent, and excellent facilities. And so again, as the new president, actually bagong lumang president, I will have to sit down and come up with strategies in order for that pillars to be able to be in place again, so that we will be able to reach that unfinished business I have mentioned in my presentation a while ago, for us to see that there is a world-class university in this part of the region, the University of Camarines Norte. I am a positive thinking leader. I don't entertain negative thoughts, and I translate usually that negative thoughts into opportunities. I am a leader who is a servant leader, and so I don't think our constituents will not follow the things that we would like them to do in order for us to attain that dream of transforming CNSC into University of Camarines Norte, a world-class university.
Okay po, sa ikalawang katanungan, ang CNSC Federated Alumni Association po ngayon ay binubuo na ng mga predecessors, undergraduates at graduate school. Ano-ano pong mga programa o proyekto ang pwedeng maihatid ng inyong magiging administrasyon sa aming mga kapwa alumni na hanggang sa ngayon ay wala pa rin mapasukan na trabaho o maitayong sariling negosyo? Inuulit ko po, ang CNSC Federated Alumni Association po ngayon ay binubuo na ng mga predecessors, undergraduates at graduate school. Ano-ano pong mga programa o proyekto ang pwedeng maihatid ng inyong magiging administrasyon sa aming mga kapwa alumni na hanggang sa ngayon ay wala pa rin mapasukan na trabaho o maitayong sariling negosyo?
I am a believer that the alumni is always, of course, when organized, they are, of course, a good potential partner in terms of the development of the institution. Now, to help them, of course, before they graduate, one of the existing programs that we do in CNSC is placement. We invite speakers from PESO, we invite speakers from industry partners, and that will provide opportunities for those graduates in terms of jobs after graduation. Now, looking at the alumni as a potential partner, I think there is a need for us to recognize their achievements. And so during the time of the then trustee Dongon, I brought him to UP Los Baños for the alumni trustee to be able to experience firsthand paano ba yung alumni gathering ginagawa ng isang established university para makakuha ka ng lesson. That's the reason why ipinanganak yung Balik Tanaw. Pinangalanan natin na yung alumni homecoming as Ibalik Tanaw. Kasi sabi ko sa kanya, hindi pwede yung alumni gathering ay kwentuhan, inuman lang. It has to be done in an academic way. It has to be done in a university way. Those are the things that we need to do. Those are the things that we need to come up with if we are to use to make the alumni sector as partner in the development of the University of Camarines Norte. Isang major accomplishment natin during my time, yung nagkaroon na sila ng balay ng alumni diyan sa College of Education, of course, through the help also of the alumni trustee Dongon. So marami pa tayong kailangan gawin. Kunwari, yung pag-update ng alumni directory in our website. That's very important because we'll be able to locate the successful alumni who of course have the potential to help the institution in terms of realizing its vision of becoming a world-class university.
Maraming salamat po.
To represent the junior faculty, Ms. Melissa S. Carbonell.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
For the junior faculty sector, the first question is, if you will be given the chance to be the CNSC president again, how are you going to address and ensure faculty development in terms of professional growth, physical and mental health of the faculty members, which includes the contract of service status, temporary and permanent faculty members, as well as the CNSC internationalization within the 4 years amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. I repeat, sir, if you will be given the chance to be the CNSC president again, how are you going to address and ensure faculty development in terms of professional growth, physical and mental health of the faculty members, which includes the contract of service status, temporary and permanent faculty members, as well as the CNSC internationalization within the 4 years amidst the COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay, before I left, we did leave a mechanism to address faculty and staff development. As a bronze recipient, CSC recipient, we have this existing mechanism like the learning and development as one of the pillars in the prime HRM. So the faculty development, staff development are always anchored on the learning and development program that we have coming from the different delivery units. The faculty members and staff will identify what they would like to see as far as their professional growth is concerned. And once that is signed by the President under Prime HRM, I will have to support it regardless. That's the reason why I make sure that the deans and campus directors, when coming up the learning and development program, I would like to ensure that that target of a faculty and non-teaching is of course budgeted. Now, when it comes to internationalization, we already started the internationalization by creating the IRLO, International Relation and Linkages Office, and that IRLO is already functioning. We were able to send faculty members. In fact, there's already a faculty member, and you actually is a recipient of that internationalization effort that we have conducted in the past. So we will just continue, we will just sustain, and we will just, of course, improve for the better, following the principle of continual improvement, because CNSC is an ISO-certified institution, and continual improvement is a major factor. So, gano'n natin siya gagawin. Ano pa ba yung isa? Internationalization and?
Physical and mental health.
Physical and mental health, there is also an existing mechanism wherein our guidance counselors help online. In fact, tayo yung una, nung pumutok yung COVID, sometime last year, we were able to come up with mechanisms to address all those issues raised by our faculty members. I made sure during that.
Thank you, sir. For the second question, sir, so junior faculty members of CNSC are progressively enriching their qualifications. So this includes pursuing graduate studies, doing research and extension activities. However, until now, there are no new guidelines for the NBC 461 which is why no promotions yet for the 8th cycle. What are your plans for the promotion of CNSC faculty members? Will this be prioritized during the first 100 days of your term? I repeat, junior faculty members of CNSC are progressively enriching their qualifications, which includes pursuing graduate studies, doing research and extension activities. However, until now, there are no new guidelines for the NBC 461, which is why no promotions yet for the 8th cycle. What are
Okay.
your plans for the promotion? Will this be prioritized during the first 100 days of your
Yes, of course, that will always be a priority. Let me emphasize that NBC 461, as far as NBC 461 is concerned, wala tayong control doon. Ang meron tayong control is for us to come up with a policy when it comes to merit selection and promotion that is to be approved not just by the CNSC Board of Trustees, but to be approved also by the Civil Service Commission. If we have that mechanism, even though there is no NBC 461 yet, because like what I have said, we don't have control of that. It is the CHED and of course PASOK National who that of course have the control as far as NBC 461 is concerned. So we will package a proposal revising the merit, promotion, and selection system, enriching all the provisions in the existing merit, selection, and promotion system. We will submit it to the board for approval and of course civil service for their appropriate action. That will be done during the first 100 days of my incumbency as the 6th president. Don't worry, faculty profile development in terms of academic rank is always a priority for me. During my time, there was, I think there were 3 times that we conducted a merit promotion during my time. And that was a record. Nobody did that in the past. Kasi I make sure that the existing plantilla, if it is available, enough we fill upon. Because in management, if there are plantilla positions that are vacant and you don't fill that up, then that's not wise management. So that's what we are going to do. Prepare and submit a proposal for institutional and BC 461, have it approved by the board, have it approved by the civil service, and presto, we have now an alternative to NBC 461. Watch me, you will do that.
Thank you, sir.
To represent the senior faculty sector, Mr. Claro Ramon A. Duero.
Good morning, sir. The first question is, what are the keys to translate your vision for the University of Camarines Norte's future into action?
Okay. Universityhood is not an easy task. Universityhood requires not just the effort coming from the administration, but more so efforts from the constituents, especially in terms of complying the non-compliant aspects of universityhood. For instance, curriculum. I was informed that there are 2 programs that needed to be scrapped in order for us to become a university, because I was informed that the programs are non-compliant in terms of the CHED minimum requirement. So that aspect will have to be, we have to do something. We will need to comply all the requirements, faculty, of course we will hire the additional faculty, that minimum requirement that are needed, of course the curricular revision and so on and so forth. Now, world-class university status will only be possible, like what I mentioned a while ago, if we will follow that framework. Quality assurance based yung ating mga processes in terms of the mandated function of instruction, research, extension, and production, which we are already doing. We submitted already CNSC, not just ISO 2015 certification, but at the same time 14001 environmental management system. Not only that, our plan as laid out in the strat plan is that we will also submit our programs into ABET accreditation, into Washington Accord, and so on and so forth, for us to make it international. Of course, those are things that are stated in the plan. Iba yung itatranslate mo into action. That's the reason why when you plan, kailangan may kaakibat siyang budget. Doon papasok yung role ng Institutional Planning and Development Office. At dun papasok yung role ng Presidente to lead the team towards that direction.
Okay. For the second question, though initially you have answered this already from the question given by the junior faculty group, what are some of your plans and actions, if given the chance to be the university president for the next 100 days?
Plans and actions relative to, I have presented many plans relative to attaining our vision. But as to the faculty, of course, I mentioned a while ago that we will look for an alternative to LBC 461. We'll also try to improve the profile of the faculty by sending them not just to local training, but of course abroad. You know, it's very important that our faculty members are exposed abroad, because when faculty members are exposed abroad, it will help change the perspective of faculty members, hence making them international in terms of perspective. If our faculty members are just confined locally, they are not given the opportunity to see other places, to see other higher education institutions, then doon nagiging mababaw yung perspective. So we have to expose them. We need to, of course, provide funds. Meron naman tayong pundo eh. We can always utilize the income in terms of improving the faculty profile of our faculty members. We just need to prioritize. Of course, the utilization of our income is always guided by the memo on income utilization, and we will have it sanctioned by the board. The most important thing to do is that each delivery unit must come up with a faculty development program that is realistic, that is attainable given a certain period of time, because the president has only 4 years to do everything. Okay? So without the help of the constituents, everything that we have planned will just be a plan. So we need the support of everyone to do all this in order for CNSC to become University of Camarines Norte and a world-class one.
Thank you, sir.
To represent the private sector, Engineer Timothy Sales.
Magandang umaga po.
Good morning po.
Ako po ay tubong Camarines Norte at wala na rin pong ibang ikakasaya kundi ang makita po ang Camarines Norte na maunlad at ang mga taong naninirahan dito na masagana. Sinasabi po nila na ang isang lugar na dinadayo ng tao ay naglilikha ng maraming oportunidad sa pag-iempleyo o pagninegosyo. Isa po sa mga dahilan na ang Camarines Norte po ay dadayuhin ng mga tao ay ang pagkakaroon ng isang tikalidad na universidad. Maaari po ba ninyong ilahad ang inyong mga hakbang upang makapag-engganyo kayo ng mga dayuhang estudyante na dito mag-aral versus sa mga paaralan na malapit sa kanila?
Okay, I agree with you, Engineer, that the tourism will always spur economic development of an area. For instance, UP Los Baños is an established university in South Province of Laguna is, of course, in terms of economic growth is maunlad din. No? Yan yung pangarap ko. That's the reason why we started the internationalization of our programs. We sent our faculty members abroad for them to have international exposure. Not only our students, we sent also our students abroad for them to have a grasp of outside world. Now, for us to do that, first thing first, let us review and examine our existing curricular program. Let us submit all our existing curricular programs to quality assurance. That's the reason why we always submit, we always prioritize AACOP accreditation of all our programs. We always prioritize the compliance of the CHED requirements for the program to be issued COPC. Because when a program is not issued with COPC, wala yun. Ibig sabihin nun, yung program na yun, patsi-patsi. Kasi hindi niya na satisfy yung basic requirement for that program to be offered. Yun yung ilan sa mga tangible projects that we have conducted in the past and that we will sustain and improve further so that that dream of bringing the foreigners enroll in the University of Camarines Norte will be a possibility. We also provide excellent and international facilities, accommodation, hotel, because you cannot enjoin them to enroll in Camarines Norte State College if you don't have facilities for foreign students. We have to ensure also their security. We have to ensure that the dorm or the hotel that they are going to stay is equipped with the necessary facilities like Wi-Fi and so on and so forth. Lahat yan nakasulat na sa isang strategic plan na meron tayo.
Sa akin po yung kalawang katanungan. Sa isang graduate, ang pinakauna niyang layunin ay makakuha ng pagkakakitaan. Sa 90% ng mga graduates, pag-iempleyo ang pinakaposibleng opsyon. Paano niyo po ilalapit ang mga graduates ng institusyong ito sa mga kumpanyang maaring mag-hire sa kanila at maging una nilang tungtungan sa paghahanap buhay?
Okay, I mentioned a while ago that we provide assistance to our graduates via orientation. We invite speakers from industry players, from PESO, so that our graduates will have that opportunity to engage and of course to collaborate with potential employers after their graduation. So not only that, the mechanism that is existing is for the student to enjoy that principal earning while learning approach, particularly for fisheries and agriculture programs. We can always do that. Kunwari, yung bata nag-aaral ng agriculture, nag-aaral pa lang siya, nag-earn na siya kung marunong siya mag-alaga ng manok, ng baboy, at ng ibang pang agri-entrepreneur. Yun yung tinatawag nating outcomes-based education. So we just need to redirect our existing programs if that is our aim as far as helping our graduates identify initial job for them. Kasi ang eskwelahan isang factor lang naman yan eh. The major bulk of the factor that affects the employability of graduate is of course yung sarili nila. And to help, to come up with an empirical data on that, usually tayo po ay meron tinatawag na tracer studies. Tinitingnan natin kung nasaan na yung mga graduates natin, of course, using a scientific instrument. And the data that we are able to gather will be very helpful in designing and redesigning our curricular programs.
Maraming salamat po.
Thank you po.
From student sector, Mr. Luis Ray Adan.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
My first question is, if you become the president, how can you assure that one of your top priority is the welfare of CNSC, particularly the student? And what are your ways to amplify our voices to be heard by the governing body of CNSC? Again, if you become the president, how can you assure that one of your top priority is the welfare of CNSC, particularly the students? And what are your ways to amplify our voices and to be heard by the governing body of CNSC?
In my presentation a while ago, one of the agenda I presented is about students' promotion of welfare and development. Because I believe that the institution exists because of the students. Kaya marapat lang ng estudyante ay isa sa mga priorities ng administration. Dahil kung gaano natin inaalagaan ang mga estudyante, ganun din nila ibabalik yung maayos na pag-aaral. Remember, they are scholars. Scholar sila ng bayan. Kaya kailangan mag-aral sila ng maigi para may maibalik sila sa gobyerno. Now, in terms of tangible programs, we have a student development fund that they can utilize in terms of honing their leadership skills, in terms of improving their communication skills and the like. If there are activities that are needed to be funded, there are of course assured fund, not just coming from the income, but of course from specifically trust fund, students development fund. And during my incumbency as president, I made sure that the students are always there when we do planning and budgeting because they are always an important sector of the academic institution. Without them, wala itong lahat ng mga pinaghihirapan natin ito. That's the reason why nakita nyo, we tried all our best to improve our existing facilities. Itong main campus, nakita nyo how we are able to transform this mula dun sa mga lumang buildings patungo sa mga modernong facilities, because I would like our students to enjoy what you are supposed to enjoy when you are studying in a state-owned institution like the Camarines Norte State College. Okay, we should provide all the necessary amenities and facilities for you to have that, of course, passion and desire to finish on time. Kasi pag hindi nakaka-graduate on time yung estudyante, nagbabayad din yung gobyerno sa kanilang pag-aaral, di ba? Because your education is subsidized. That's the reason why kailangan conducive yung learning environment for all our students.
Thank you, sir. My next question is, how can you secure that the quality education can be achieved in the midst of pandemic? What steps are you going to make in order to provide students an effective learning experience despite of pandemic? Again, how can you secure that the quality education can be achieved in the midst of pandemic? What steps are you going to make in order to provide students an effective learning experience despite of pandemic?
Okay, because of the pandemic, there is no way forward but flexible learning. And when we say flexible learning, it can be done via online, it can be done via off-mode, or whatever is the available mechanism for us to sustain the teaching and learning process following the principle of quality and excellence. Now, to do that, we need to improve our learning management system. We need to improve the internet connectivity. We need to improve the capability of faculty members in terms of delivering flexible learning. That's the very purpose why we propose to CHED under Smart Campus Fund yung Smart Campus Development natin. Unfortunately, I mentioned a while ago that Smart Campus Fund, I was informed, is already approved by CHED, and that amounts to 25 million, and that will help to ensure the quality, that we will only implement quality instruction to our students. Okay, we know that this time is very difficult for all of us, both faculty and students, and so we should provide the mechanisms and all the support, physical, emotional, including emotional, spiritual, needed by our students in order for them to enjoy that quality instruction function that is, of course, we implement in Camarines Norte State College. We are dreaming to become a world-class university. If we don't have excellent facilities, if our resources are not abundant, okay, and if we don't have the best and the brightest talents, and if we don't employ good governance, and if you don't have a visionary president, then all those dreams will just go to naught. It will just be a futile exercise. It's a combination of everything. One factor is for the students to do their job. Another factor is for the administration to do their job, the faculty members and staff, and that dream of becoming a world-class university will not be a remote possibility.
Thank you, sir.
That ends our open forum for presidential candidate number 2, Dr. Rusty G. Abanto. While we are waiting for presidential candidate number 3, during the second round of the open forum, please be reminded that the audience are not allowed to clap or to yell during the second round of the open forum. Let us again welcome presidential candidate number 3, Dr. Ricardo D. Dino. For the first question, may I call on Ma'am Eloisa Lucban, our administrative staff, to represent the administrative staff.
me, sir? There are two questions from the administrative staff. And the first question is, as elected CNSC President, what measures are you going to apply to improve the budget utilization rate in as much as we are on the third quarter of the fiscal year, with the reversion of funds, supposedly payment for the infra projects, to the National Treasury? I repeat, as elected CNSC President, what measures are you going to apply to improve the budget utilization rate in as much as we are on the third quarter of the fiscal year, with the reversion of funds, supposedly payment for the infra projects, to the National Treasury?
Hello. Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Regarding the issue on measures to give or to increase the budget utilization rate, I would say, because as you have said, there is this issue of reversion. I think really we have to move, we have to make our effort. So it's high time for us to make a revision maybe of the financial transactions or operations that we are having in our school. And so we have to talk with our planners in terms of finances, and then let's come up with the guidelines, and then some protocols in achieving and then reversing budget. In that way, we can be guided, and therefore issues of that kind will not be experienced in the near future. So maybe we could work hand in hand with our accountant, with our budget officers, with all other concerns in the accounting and in the operation of our finances. Thank you.
The next question is, what are your plans and programs for the non-teaching personnel to have equal opportunities in terms of promotion as compared to the teaching personnel, and how are you going to balance the wide latitude of discretion being an appointing authority?
Would you like to repeat or no? Okay, sige. Okay na, ma'am. Okay. So given that issue, again, if you would recall, I think I have included that as part of my strategy to really to come up with a good report with non-teaching employees. That's why I have included there the day of reckoning and reasoning, because we cannot give some recommendation if we will not talk about the issue. So in terms of promotion, thank you, medyo masilaw. In terms of promotion of our non-teaching employees, we still have to come up with the reviewing of existing policies in terms of promotion, and then we will talk about that, especially in terms of the personnel in the civil service and all other agencies pertaining to, because even if we have to promote all of the non-teaching employees, if there is no money, if there is no budget, I think that would be impossible. But one thing is sure, because there is this opportunity. As you can see in my background, in my personal experience, I really have that attitude to make things happen. I just don't rely on what should be happening, but rather if there is or there are opportunities, then we have to move into that. If that concerns our non-teaching, I would go for that. And I would really support you for you to have equal access or equal opportunity in terms of promotion, in terms of, having some equal access, especially in terms of, benefit. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
To represent the alumni sector, Mr. Marlon V. Guerrero.
Magandang umaga po. Sir, bilang magiging Pangulo, ano po ang napakahalagang proyekto o gawain ang naiwan mo sa iyong dating pinagsilbihang posisyon na maituturing mong legacy dahil sa malaking ambag nito sa patuloy na pag-unlad ng mga mag-aaral, alumni at mga empleyado, at paano mo po ito magiging sandalan sa pagpapatupad ng mga proyekto sa ina-applyan mong posisyon. Bilang magiging Pangulo po, ano ang napakahalagang proyekto o gawain ang naiwan mo po sa iyong dating pinagsilbihang posisyon na maituturing mong legacy dahil sa malaking ambag nito sa patuloy na pag-unlad ng mga mag-aaral, alumni at mga empleyado, at paano mo ito magiging sandalan sa pagpapatupad ng mga proyekto sa ina-applyan mo pong posisyon.
Okay, magandang umaga rin sa iyo, representative from the alumni sector. Yung pong tanong mo ako, natutuwa ako kasi you asked that in Tagalog, so I have this opportunity also to respond in Tagalog. Medyo mahirap magpara-English. Ayun, napagal ako. Okay, so ito pong legacy na pwede ko pong maipagmalaki. Kasi for a time, I became a director and then a dean. Sabi ko Tagalog. Dean at saka director uli. Nung time po na ako ay extension director, may pagmamalaki ko po na naipalaganap or naipagawa po natin itong Technology and Livelihood Center doon po sa Sierra Bros. Nandyan pa po yan. At tunay pong kasama na ngayon as part of the institutional program or project ng ating institusyon. Nung ako naman po ay naging director, director ng extension, ang isa ko pong maipagmamalaki or legacy na naiwan ay yung pong sabi ko nga nakatulong ako sa pag-angat ng CNSC from level 1 to level 2. I can assure you that na yan po ay totoo. Nandyan po yung budget officer natin last time na makakapagpatunay na yan po ay nagawa po natin na ipa-level 2 natin ang CNSC dahil po sa mga accomplishments ng extension. Pangatlo po, ngayon, bilang campus director, ako naman po ang pwede kong maiwan ay because of, some report, yung pong samahan namin. Kasi that time, medyo hindi naging maganda ang mga samahan sa labo. But this time, I can assure you that we are now moving. At isa po yung napakamagandang legacy na pwedeng maiwan sa isang institusyon. Dahil kung ang mga nasasakupan ay hiwa-hiwalay, hindi po tayo aangat, hindi tayo mag-move. And so, I would, of course, sabi nga, kung isang magandang panuntunan yan, ituloy natin.
Second question po. Ang CNSC Federated Alumni Association po ngayon ay binubuo na ng mga predecessors, undergraduates at graduate school. Ano-ano pong mga programa o proyekto ang pwedeng maihatid ng inyong magiging administrasyon sa aming mga kapwa-alumni na hanggang sa ngayon ay wala pa rin mapasukan na trabaho o maitayong sariling negosyo? Inuulit ko po, ang CNSC Federated Alumni Association po ngayon ay binubuo na ng predecessors, undergraduates at graduate school. Ano na pong mga programa o proyekto ang pwedeng maihatid ng inyong magiging administrasyon sa aming mga kapwa-alumni na hanggang sa ngayon ay wala pa ring mapasukan na trabaho o maitayong sariling negosyo?
Okay, patungkol po dyan. Kasi talaga naman, hindi lamang naman po graduate ng mga CNSC, but all other colleges ay meron pong experience na yung mga alumni nila ay hindi po nagkakaroon ng isang magandang mga opportunity. Sa ngayon po, napakarami na pwede po nating magawa. Sabi ko nga, it's just a matter of helping others to help others also. Meron po tayong principle ngayon sa kasalukuyan, ito pong tinatawag natin na crowdfunding. Na wherein we can allocate or pwede po tayong makakuha ng mga resources kasi mangyayari ay this is a matter of resource generation. So once we have bigyan ko kayo ng example kasi I'm a graduate of a resource management and therefore because of this scarce resource we really have to manage this effectively. Tingnan natin po yung opportunity ng tinatawag nating mga batas na existing sa kasalukuyan na kung saan ito ay tugon para malutas ang tinatawag nating unemployment. And this is the law about entrepreneurship. Ito pong entrepreneurship na kung saan meron po tayo dito sa CBPA, gagawin po natin, so tingnan natin yung anggulo na after graduation, ay bigyan po natin ng pagkakataon na itong mga graduates natin ay makapagsarili. At kung sakaling kailangan nila ng tulong, ay institutionalize po natin yan. Gagawin natin po yan nasa katuwang ng alumni sector at katuwang ng college, ay magkakaroon tayo ng isang programa na tulong para sa ating mga graduates. Kasi hindi talaga po matutugunan ang unemployment kung hindi tayo gagawa ng paraan. So ang mahalaga, we have this move, we have this vision, we have this approach or strategy to address that issue.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you so
To
much.
represent the junior faculty sector, Ms. Melissa S. Carbonell.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So if you will be given a chance, sir, to be the new CNSC president, how are you going to address and ensure faculty development in terms of professional growth, physical and mental health, including the contract of service status, temporary status, and the permanent faculty members, as well as the CNSC internationalization within the 4 years amidst the COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay.
Repeat ko, sir? Okay.
No need, madam. Actually, your question is good for 4 years, but I don't think I can answer that in 2 minutes. But I would just like to give some issue, we really have to make the priority for this institution are but the faculty. Why? Because they are the ones molding and producing our graduates. And so if they are not ready to give what they should have to give to the students, then what kind of products are we producing? And you are right that we really have to look into the welfare and the capacity, or yes, the qualities, the capabilities of our our faculty. Now, in terms of course, you have this mention of this contractual or COS. If we still have to pursue or have anchored our development in terms of COS, the more that we will be producing more COS. So I as a way of helping them, because faculty members really are also achieving some kind of enhancement in terms of their development, in terms of their capacity as teachers. So in terms of COS, maybe as given a chance, if I become the president, I would really adhere and look for the way that they could have complete their masteral requirement for them to be permanent. One way I think is to give them some deloading and have access to scholarship. And if we have in the CNSC as a way to help them, let's say we have this scholarship grant, thesis grant, and all kinds of grants, then let's have it acquired and used by our faculty members.
Thank you, sir. For the second question, so junior faculty members of the CNSC are progressively enriching their qualifications, which includes pursuing graduate studies, doing research and extension activities. However, until now, there are no new guidelines for the NBC 461, which is why no promotions yet for the 8th cycle. What are your plans for the promotion of CNSC faculty members? Will this be prioritized during the first 100 days of your term?
Definitely yes. Because, as I have said, a happy employees will contribute to an increased productivity in any organization. If faculty members will not be happy, how could these people be of service? Just this morning, I heard over the radio that faculty members are actually just complying for their teaching, not anymore improving of their, their capability because of the low salary, the stagnant promotion. So my priority is for you to be given attention, for you to be promoted, for you to have all the benefits that is due to you. So wag po kayong kasi we will be looking into all the policies and guidelines as regards NBC 461. Pag-aaralan po natin yan at titingnan natin yan. And mind you, I would also, because, you know, as an accreditor, tinitingnan po namin yan. We look into that particular issue on promotion. So NBC 461 will be a priority under my administration. And all things that are for the benefit of the faculty, I rest assured that you will have received that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
For senior faculty, Sir Claro Ramon A. Duero.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
The first question, sir, is that what are the keys to translate your vision for the University of Camarines Norte's future into action?
Okay, so the key to transforming my vision as a world-class university is simply having access to the international academic community. If we still move into the community in terms of academic in the Philippines, then we cannot achieve that goal or vision to be at par with the international arena. So we are going to have this so-called networking. Networking this time is the name of the game. And we can achieve that by involving or by utilizing the technology. And what kind of technology is that? That is the internet. Now we have this internet of things, and then we can access everything, and we can have, of course, publish all our outputs, our researches, our productive outputs in the CNSC to the international arena, and therefore, by 2025, we can achieve that the CNSC is a world-class university. I think that would be sir. That would be all, sir.
Thank you, sir. For the second question, sir, what are other plans and actions if you were given the chance to be the university president for the next 100 days?
Okay, for the next 100 days, so we are counting after July 16. For the first 100 days, of course, if you have recall in my development goals and strategies, definitely I would start where I should begin. I mean, that's why I initially instituted there. I said I have to establish the university president's office because it is where it will start everything. So we will have this, of course, sabi nga, kasi mas maganda kasi, it follows na kapag sinimulan nating maayos, if we started it well, it will end so well. So not just in the first 100 days, but you are good because really we cannot implement that all throughout. But the first 100 would be a significant in terms of our performance, in terms of faculty, in terms of non-teaching employees, in terms of our stakeholders, in terms of our alumni, in terms of our community. We will excel in that particular areas. Because CNSC is established in the province for our community. So we will have a rapport with our stakeholders. That's the very thing that I could do in the first 100 days to have a strong connection, a strong rapport with our stakeholders. Because if I did not do that, so I will be doing it alone. But if you are with me, just like if we are in one in one vehicle, then we can move on. And what's best, the vehicle is already moving, and that means we can move it further. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
From the private sector, Engineer Timothy Sales.
Magandang umaga po.
Magandang umaga naman, sir.
Sana po pag nanalo kayo, kasama kami sa selebrasyon.
Of course.
Ang aking pong katanungan. Sinasabi po nila na ang isang lugar na dinadayo ng tao ay naglilikha ng maraming oportunidad sa pagninegosyo o pag-iempleyo. Isa po sa mga dahilan na dadayuhin ang Camarines Norte ng mga tao ay ang pagkakaroon ng isang dekalidad na universidad. Maaari po ba ninyong ilahad ang inyong programa upang makapag-engganyo ng mga dayuhang estudyante na dito mag-aral versus sa mga paaralan na malapit sa kanila?
Okay, salamat po sa katanungan na yan. At of course, doon sa sabi mo kung manalo ay naturalmente, sabi nga, let's be happy. Everyone should be happy. Kailangan maging masaya tayo sa tagumpay ng ating adhikain. So patungkol po doon sa pag-anyaya ng mga sabi mo, tama ka, it's really a good opportunity for the CNSC, not just for the CNSC but for the province. The more, the merrier, ika nga. So ganito lang po yan para maka-attract tayo ng ating pong mga, mga pwedeng pumunta dito sa atin sa lugar na ito. Kailangan mayroong makikita sa atin. And in terms of academic community, in terms of academic, ang pwede po nating maipakita ay yung pong ating mga performance sa ating pong eskwelahan. Unang-una, kung titingnan po natin, hindi po maikakaila sa inyo na tayo po ay isang tanyag na universidad pagdating po sa larangan ng inhinyero. Tama ba ko? Sa inhinyero, yes. And along with that, alam niyo po ba na tayo din ay tanyag sa larangan po ng accountancy. So, ang gusto ko pong sabihin dito kung ano yung pinakamagaling at pinakamatingkad para sa CNSC, yun po ang ating ipapakita sa kanila. Likewise, ito pong aming Agriculture and Biosystems Engineering ay ito po ay nagpapakita na rin po ng galing at ganda, hindi lamang po sa ibang university. Kung kaya, sabi ko nga, given the chance, isa sa plano ko ay magkaroon po dito ng Masters in Biosystems Engineering. Isa po yan. So more likely, marami pong papasok dito. Hindi lamang po sa engineering, hindi lamang sa accountancy, hindi lamang sa kung ano pang mga programa na meron tayo, IT for example. And as a result, magkakaroon po tayo ng napakaraming mga oportunidad or opportunities sa pagnonegosyo at sa pag-create ng wealth or creation of income. Thank you.
Mukha po mag-enroll ako dyan sa Masters in Bioengineering nyo, sir.
Sige sir, salamat.
Ang aking pong ikalawang katanungan. Sa isang graduate, ang pinakauna niyang layunin ay makakuha ng pagkakakitaan. Sa 90% ng mga graduates, pag-i-empleyo ang pinakaposibleng opsyon. Paano niyo po ilalapit ang mga graduates ng institusyong ito sa mga kumpanyang maaring mag-hire sa kanila at maging una nilang tungtungan sa paghahanap buhay?
Okay, salamat po again. Ito ay particular para sa ating mga graduates. Again, yung pong mga graduates natin, sabi ko nga sa inyo, hindi na po ito matatawaran ang kanila pong kakayahan at kalidad. So kung kaya nga po, it's just a matter of, networking with all these employers outside. Kasi pag nakita po nila ng ating pong mga employers na ito yung graduates natin. Kung baga, meron po dapat na programa or institusyon na pwede pong maging daluyan nitong ating mga graduate na kung saan yung ating alumni ay pwede pong maging daan dito. Kasi it should be an alumni affair. Sabi nga, from enrollment to employment. Kumbaga, nakalatag na po. So from our academic affairs office, ilalatag na po natin ito. Ready na sila from employment to graduation and then from enrollment to graduation to employment. So, kumbaga, we will match our graduate with the demand of the market. Kasi, ang gusto ko pong mangyari dito, sana, kaya nga sabi ko, world-class university, yung bang sasabihin ng mga institusyon na employers na CNSC graduate is a priority. Meron pong mga ganyan. Remember that sa mga ads makikita mo, graduate of LaSalle, etc., ay dapat, ito ang priority. We are going to do that also. That graduate of CNSC, UCN, is a priority in their sa mga jobs nila. sa mga employments nila. Gagawin po natin yan. It's just a matter of laying down everything, planning, gawin po natin yan. Marami po tayong mga eksperto dito. Kaya po natin gawin yan.
Maraming salamat po.
Thank you so much also.
And finally, from the student sector, Mr. Luis Ray Adan.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My first question is, if you become the president, how can you assure that one of your top priorities is the welfare of CNSC, particularly the students? And what are your ways to amplify our voices to be heard by the governing body of CNSC?
Okay. Maganda yung tanong na yun, ano? So, how could the studentry be heard in the governing bodies? As you can see, you know, the representation of the student really is an independent one. And as a part of the board of trustee, the student really has that access to the board. So the best thing that I could do is simply, of course, inform the board that there is this representation that we are overlooking. So every member of the board has that independent capacity. They are endorsed. They are considered as the representative of the studentry, and therefore they should be heard. That is why before there is no representation from the board, no BOT representing the student, but the government has known that really because the student is but part of the institution, especially in terms of academic institution, and therefore they have to be represented in the board. And so we have to really give them the opportunity to be with the board. Okay, so I think that's the best thing that I can do is to assert that really that the representation of the students should be recognized in the board. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next question is, how can you secure that the quality education can be achieved in the midst of pandemic? What steps are you going to make in order to provide students an effective learning experience despite of pandemic?
All right. Okay. You know, really this is a big problem because we are not used to the so-called online learning. But mind you, learning online has been there for several years because we have this distance education, distance learning, or the so-called open university. So maybe we could employ as a solution to this pandemic to engage in this online platform of learning to our students, especially so that our students are in the so-called technology generation. Even, you know, even my daughter who is only 4 years old is actually very, very, you know, well versed, if I may say, very good in terms of online. So we can take advantage of that, just a matter of giving some, you know, or conceptualizing or drafting some policy on enhancing quality education by utilizing our technology, the online technology, the internet, even the social media can actually be a form of learning. So we will take advantage of that. And so I think more facilities or infra facilities in terms of information technology should be included or should be given budget or should be given priority in the university so that we can attune to the accomplishment or the realization of that particular area of online learning without sacrificing the quality of education that we are giving to our students. So that will be all, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That ends our open forum for Presidential Candidate number 3, Dr. Ricardo D. Dino. Now, we'll move on to we'll be waiting for the two other candidates for the second round of the open forum. This time, all of the three candidates will be seated in front, and they will be picking questions from the pool of questions. May I again reiterate that at this part of the open forum, attendees or the participants in this physical venue are not allowed, are requested not to clap or to yell in favor of one candidate. So our ad interim board secretary, Attorney Dion Nadine Ivy Figura, will be holding the fishbowl for containing the questions. How about a round of applause for our sectoral representatives for the effort in asking questions? Thank you so much. They were able to extract candidates. So there we go, the second round of the open forum. Yes, sir. The same order po. Dr. De La Cruz, number 1, number 2, Dr. Abanto, and number 3, Dr. Dinia. So the question for Dr. De La Cruz, if you will be given a chance to be the new CNSC president, and your vision is for UCN to be a world-class university and an engine for innovation and discovery, what are your concrete plans relative to research and extension activities and incentives for the faculty members, and how would you manifest this in your leadership?
Good morning again, ma'am. Lunch na pala. Well, as I've said, the last 3 years, I ventured in patents. And patents are an investment. Once you have patents, you have royalties, and this creates financial additions on your pocket. So if we can translate this to all our faculty members, then it's not only we will be depending on our salaries, but these are add-ons. Then these patents would link you to businesses, because these are opportunities for business to dwell, to venture. So these are all tied up activities. So then comes your professional upliftment through professional practice. So it's basically a continuous process. Not only progression on you as an individual, but also progression on your social status, as well as contribution to the society. Once you are this kind of persons, definitely it would mark a very distinct and unique title for UNC, because mostly of the stakeholders are given the opportunity to shine through these systems. Thank you.
Our question for presidential candidate number 2. Flexible learning system will continue in this coming school year 2021-2022. And thereafter, if you will be given the chance to be elected as the new president of CNSC, how are you going to ensure that there is a balance between considering not only the students' welfare, but also the welfare of CNSC faculty members?
I answered this partly a while ago, that flexible learning is our way forward. Basic is we start with reviewing our existing policy, institutional policy on flexible learning, to look into also the aspect of the students and of course the faculty members. Although there are said memorandum orders concerning the implementation of flexible learning. And that is where the Smart Campus Fund will come in. We will have to improve because the issue now in the implementation of the flexible learning, of course, is the internet connectivity. But like what I have said a while ago, when we say flexible learning, it's not just online learning. It's a combination of many modalities to make the learning possible despite the pandemic. So the Smart Campus Fund, the 25 million fund coming from CED under the 2 billion Smart Campus Fund may now be utilized to improve internet connectivity, connecting main campus to other campuses. We have 6 campuses, Mercedes, Labo, Sepangniban, Santa Elena, Abanyo, and that will improve the implementation of the one aspect of flexible learning. Second is of course on ensuring the emotional aspect ng ating mga estudyante. That's the reason why we have a system that is already in place, yung guidance, online guidance for our students and faculty, online spiritual guidance for our faculty members. That is of course in recognition of the fact that this pandemic really is very stressful, not just on the part of the students, but of course to our faculty members. It's very important that the President has a constant communication with both faculty members and students. During my time, I make sure that I talk to the students, I talk to the faculty members to ensure that I hear their voices.
I believe this is coming from our audience. What is your stand on localization of, or employees who wanted to I think this is to be near for reassignment to other campus where they live? Okay. What is your stand on localization or I think this is medyo may ano lang po kasi of or employees who wanted to be near their place of work. So for example, So sige po, wanted to be near for assignment to other campus where they live.
Okay. So, this is actually what we should do, because there is the saying that if you are staying with your loved ones, the more that the productivity of your work will be increased. And so my stand as regards the term is localization, which I perceive that it's a way of working within your within where you are very near to your place. So what I can say is that I am in subscription to that particular idea, because why are we having families? Because we want to have some connections, and the way we are far apart, the more that there are problems that may be arising. Remember that we are strong if we are together. How much more if the family are scattered? So I would agree that really I would support that kind of idea, that whenever a faculty or an employee is asking that he should be relocated because he is far from his place, is far from his family or her family, I would agree with that. And of course, I would grant and I would say, be happy because you are needed by your family. And at the same time, you will perform very well if you are with your family. Thank you.
Given the chance to be the next president of this institution, what is your idea about institutionalizing free annual physical, medical, and dental activity intended for the faculty and employees charged to the 30% acquired and generated savings of the institution?
I try to look policies on these cases, and there are limitations when we have this medical, because some agencies already covered this. But what we did in Biscas is we levied it for our CNA. So we were given, the board approves that system, and we were given the benefit. So there's no problem if we will be able to get approval for this. And this needs also the cooperation of the different stakeholders to push through with this. So it's not only the president. So it needs also your cooperation with this. So we put that in proper proposition or proper proposal, then levied it. And if it's approved, then by all means it will be granted. But I tell you, it was approved in ours. So we have already our baseline. So if they did it, I mean, if we did it, why can't we? So it's up to us. So that's where I need you to push through with that and help me. Thank you.
Which of these leadership competencies would you apply as CNSC president, and why? So here are the competencies: strong ethics, empowering self and others, and conflict management.
I would choose letter B, empowering others. I am a type of a leader who is happy when there is someone who is a potential leader also. That's the reason why I mentor faculty members, I mentor staff, because I also would like them to become leaders of this institution. We don't have the monopoly of knowledge. Let us always put that in our mind. I will not be president forever. In order for me to sustain the programs, projects, and activities that we are implementing to reach that vision of a world-class university, I need to mentor. We need to produce more leaders that will continue the legacy that have started as a university president. That's empowering leader is very important if that institution is to survive and if that institution is to get that coveted dream of becoming a world-class University of Camarines Norte.
The question is, as an appointing authority, how do you treat senior employee in case of application to a better vacated position? Which do you prefer to hire? A young one who serves only less than 3 years in the college, or an old one who serves the college for more than 20 years, but both of them are qualified?
Definitely, because you are asking if who will be appointed. Definitely, I would look into, because really both are qualified, but I would choose the old one. Why? Because even in succession, there is the so-called order of succession. So the next in rank would be the older one. And besides, the older one has served for several years. And the young one has more opportunities still to do. So I would give the opportunity now to the to the older one, to the old one, because I think I'll just give you a scenario. Something like, I'm going to give a designation to a retiring person. I would really give that position to a retiring person because that would be a prestige to that person. And the other one who has still more to go in the university, in the institution, marami pa siyang pwedeng mangyari. So, ibibigay ko doon sa matanda, doon sa nangangailangan, kasi yun ang dapat. Sabi nga, kahit sa family, di ba, remember, kung sa family, if you are going to claim for a benefit from an insurance, the next in rank, kung hindi pwede yung asawa, then yung anak. So, the same principle will be applied in terms of appointment. That would be all. Thank you.
What are the issues or problems concerning students that you feel needs to be addressed?
My experience. Number one, in our institution, mostly of the students are complaining relative. I mentioned this already previously, of the bulk of activities that they're doing. So the teachers are, teachers usually think that in the online process, they're not giving their utmost potential. That's what the perception is, because you cannot personally assess physically the capability of the student. So, relatively, what you normally do is to assert that you are deliveringly good. You keep on bombarding the students' activities. And sometimes, this complicate things. Until such time we found out that the students were not able to comply, even have to extend the submissions because of these too much taxing activities. So, we should, the solution there is to institute, I said a while ago, to institute system to check whether these students are really, complying based on their abilities, really, if they're really submitting it according to, what they learned, or probably they're submitting it because just for compliance. So, these are the things that we should consider, and that's what I've learned. The students told me such. That's why when I developed the DLLA, dinevelop ko siya two years ago before the pandemic. The design and laboratory learning activities. It's a combination. I applied the CDIO framework. It's a new technology, it's a new framework where the students' learning will be assessed.
The question is, how are you going to impart to the CNSC community the tenet that public office is a public trust in accordance with the pertinent provision of the 1987 Philippine Constitution?
Public office is really a public trust, and as a president, you should show them that really you are a trustworthy leader. You should lead them, you should show them, you should inspire them, you should motivate them. You just don't tell them what to do, but you have to show them what to do. That's public service. And when you talk of public service, you have to ensure that you as president has the integrity, you are incorruptible, You have an independent mind. You can always make an independent decision. You cannot just influence by anybody regardless of the consequences. That's public office and the public trust. I did that and I can do that again. Thank you.
Last question. As aspiring CNSC president, you have your own mission and vision for CNSC. The question is, where do students stand on this mission and vision?
Okay, so where do students stand? Saan nga ba kayo tatayo? Don't you know that the vision and mission which I actually have drafted is actually bad for you? So yun po. Doon pa lang po, mga estudyante, hindi po mag-i-exist ang University of Camarines Norte without the students. And therefore, the vision which I have drafted, the mission which I have presented, and the mission, and the development goals that I have actually presented to you, which at the later part of my presentation, I declared in the name of our Lord, because you know, as I've said, if it's not being blessed by the Lord, all our efforts would not be in success. Our students are our utmost priority. So this is where you stand. We have to train you. We have to make you professionals. We have to make you good citizens of the Republic of the Philippines. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That ends our open forum. The second part, the last part of the open forum. Once again, a round of applause to our presidential candidate number 1, Dr. Marlo de la Cruz. Presidential candidate number 2, Dr. Rusty Giabanto. And presidential candidate number 3, Dr. Ricardo Dino. Thank you very much to our presidentiables for your indulgence and of course for sharing everything for CNSC, your mission, vision, and your developmental goals to CNSC. At this juncture, before we finally end today's public forum, please be reminded, lunch will be served. And of course, all of the BOT, the SCP, the sectoral representatives, everyone. Yes. Yes. And then everyone will be having our picture, and later we'll also be having picture with those who are joining us via Zoom for documentation. At this juncture, may we call on our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Rosalie A. Albatrones, for the closing remarks.
To everyone, good afternoon. On behalf of the CNSC administration, headed by our officer in charge, and at the same time, the Commission Higher Education Regional Director, Dr. Freddie T. Bernal, the Vice Presidents, the Deans and Campus Directors, Service Directors, Heads of Offices, including our faculty, non-teaching staff, students, and other stakeholders, I would like to thank the Search Committee for the Presidency of Camarines Norte State College, headed by Dr. Candida B. Adalia, former Dean, UPLB College of Agriculture, and Dr. Tirso A. Ronquillo, PASOK National President, Dr. Freddie T. Bernal, CHED RO5 Director, Dr. Maria Cristina C. Azuelo, Dean CNSC Graduate School, and Ms. Margie N. Moraleda, Governor, Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Camarines Norte Chapter, as members, for their expertise in terms of the screening and selection of the candidates to achieve a more systematic search process and ensure the objectivity of the entire search activity. To the CNSC Board of Trustees, chaired by Commissioner Aldrin Darilag, Thank you so much for your support to CNSC. Thank you also to the 3 presidential candidates, Dr. Rusty G. Abanto, Dr. Marlo M. De La Cruz, Dr. Ricardo D. Dino, for your heart to serve Camarines Norte State College. To the sectoral representatives, the admin staff, alumni, junior faculty, senior faculty, private sector, and student representative, thank you so much for your active participation during the open forum. To the people behind the success of this activity, the chairperson of the local committee for the search for CNSC President, Dr. Maria Angela Josefa G. Quinto, with Attorney Ivy Figura, our interim board secretary, as co-chairperson, and of course, the members of the committee. Thank you so much. To everyone, our stakeholders, those who are here inside the amphitheater, and to those who are watching through Zoom or FB Live, thank you so much for staying from the start up to the end of this public presentation. I know the excitement everyone felt listening to the vision and mission for CNSC of our presidential candidates. These closing remarks signals the commencement of another journey of CNSC, a journey of one family with one vision, one mission, and one goal. Let us all adhere to the mandate of higher education institutions, that mandate of producing graduates, both in the tertiary and graduate level, who will ensure the continuance of building a nation where global competitiveness, human development, and productivity are present. Let us ensure the offering of quality programs that meet national and international standards. Let us ensure that there are mechanisms, procedures, and processes in place to guarantee that the desired quality is served. The fulfillment of our vision of becoming a premier higher education institution and our goal of becoming a full-fledged university, the University of Camarines Norte, can only be attained through our commitments of responding to the mandated functions of CNSC on instruction, research, extension, and production. This will contribute to developing CNSC into a mature institution, an institution with competent graduates and faculty, with programs responsive to the desired competencies needed by the students, excellent learning resources and support structures, and active involvement in research and outreach activities. One CNSC, onward to excellence. Thank you, and once again, good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rosalie A. Almatrones, our Vice President for Academic Affairs. So at this juncture, Sir Raymond, can we have picture po for documentation purpose? Those who are joining us via Zoom, may we request those who are joining us via Zoom to please turn on your video. And of course, our presidentiables to stand for the picture taking. Ayan po, we have friends from the Zoom. And we'll have another picture PM with facing all of the Alright, can we have a picture with the BOT present, physically present here? At ati po mga BOT, Sir Elevado, si Ma'am Santiago, Sir Chess, Sir De Castro. Be followed by the sectoral representatives.